Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my Dark Knights, and the fantasy football community. Welcome back to the Fantasy Cave podcast. Don't you love being busy? I am recording this. By the way, there is a bear behind me, as you can see. I just found it to be perfect. Here, let me move him just a tad. Ted, sit. There you go. So this is Ted. I thought it'd be appropriate because, one, I'm a big fan of Pokemon, and then on top of that, too, Teddy Ursa is one of my favorites, and the Bears. I'm a big Bears fan, so it makes perfect sense. So, we're going to break down the Week 12 games, basically go over those, and then go into the Week 13 games, talk about Thursday Night Football that we had last night, and then go from there. I'm going to briefly discuss the games, and then go into the Week 13 games, starting with the first game on the docket was the Bills and Lions. It was actually a very competitive game, more competitive than I thought. These Lions are for real. These Lions are playing hard for Dan Campbell. And honestly, like, DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams both got in the end zone, and DeAndre Swift got some more carries, which was very promising to see as well. And on the Bill side, Josh Allen was a little not like Josh Allen like he normally is, and I think it has something to do with his throwing elbow that he was dealing with injury issues last week, and it did come up a tiny bit against the Patriots, but they still won that game. I chose the Bills to win that. I choose the Cowboys to beat the Giants. Cowboys straight dominated the Giants the whole way through, didn't even look back. Dalton Schultz had 2 touchdowns in the game, which was huge for good old Dalton Schultz. And Patriots and Vikings, this game actually went into overtime. It's funny because what they did the week before, the Patriots were really good at, they decided, hey, let's get away from it and go back to our old ways again. This is why they should have announced an offensive coordinator before the year started, instead of using a guy who's normally a defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, and Joe Judge, who is a terrible offensive coach. Not great when it came to, it's very Bill Belichick of him to give jobs to people that he trusts, but this is blowing up in his face. But they're still 6-6, so. And the Vikings look like one of the best teams in the entire league. Jets, they destroyed the Bears with no Justin Fields. Like I said, no Justin Fields, the Bears are going to get demolished, and we did. The Browns, shocking the Buccaneers. I was very shocked that the Browns defeated the Buccaneers in that game. I will take the first L of the week on that. Bengals beating the Titans. I did have the Bengals winning that game. Dolphins demolishing the Texans, not even looking back. Commanders beating the Falcons. That was one I also had as well. Panthers beating the Broncos. Now, I will take an L on that one. I did not think that the Broncos are bad, but I didn't think that the Panthers would even put more than 10 points up on them, and they did. So, yeah, very, very sad. With Darnold back, first game Darnold was back too. DJ Moore looked a little bit better as well. And Russell Wilson, he is pathetic. He is truly a shadow of his former self. And, people can't, if you watch this game, I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a yelling match between the defensive tackle yelling at Russell Wilson, telling him that he's a moron. And honestly, they're stuck. They're stuck in this for a while. They have no draft picks. They have locked up Russell Wilson for a long while, thinking that he was the answer. This Broncos team's going to be in the toilet for a long while, and they are nothing but stuck with Russell Wilson. So, have fun. Have fun, Broncos. Jaguars defeating the Ravens. That was a shocker on that as well. Now, this was one of 2 games where the team went for 2 and got it and won the game on Sunday, and Jags was one of them. I believe the other one was the Chargers as well, winning in a close one as well. And then the Raiders with Josh Jacobs, man. Josh Jacobs was just in overtime, breaking that 80-yard run for the score and for a touchdown was incredible. And I have to respect him, how good he is, especially running the football. #1 running back right now in fantasy, and he is showing it. Rams and Chiefs, I mean, I chose the Chiefs to win that game. The Raiders, I will take the L on that. Chargers, I did choose that. So, all in all, only 3 losses really on the week. I can't complain with that, really. And obviously the Niners destroying the Saints, wasn't shocked with that. The Niners offense is not, they should be rolling. I mean, this is an offense that they live off their really good defense and they do just enough, but they play to the level of their opponent every single week. And this is if the Niners don't get it together, this is what's going to kill them in the playoffs, and it looks like they're guaranteed to be in along with the Seahawks. So, and then the Packers and Eagles. Packers put up a good game. Packers did try for a good while, and then Aaron Rodgers got hurt, and after that, things kind of fell apart. Well, things kind of fell apart to start, we'll say that. They couldn't really do a lot, I believe. I think I'm getting mixed up with the other game as well. Yeah, they had it. It was close for the first. Okay, so it was close for the first quarter or so, and then they just started pouring in points on them, and it just wasn't. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, it was them. They did tie it up, and then the second quarter. So it was entertaining for the first half. I was correct. And then Aaron Rodgers getting hurt didn't help matters. And then the Steelers and the Colts. Steelers winning that game. That was one where it came down to a last-second touchdown from the Steelers. And really winning, Kenny Pickett leading this offense to really go-ahead score. So that was good to see for Kenny Pickett. And then moving on to the Thursday night matchup, we had the Bills and Patriots. The Patriots did not, like I said earlier, whatever they did on Thanksgiving, they refused to do it on Thursday. And the Bills made them pay. And, I mean, Josh Allen had a pretty good night. He threw 2 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs had a second touchdown too, and they got called back. But he did get 1 in this game, and he always has a good night. And then Gabe Davis actually had the most Gabe Davis line I've ever seen. I believe he had like 2 catches for 15 yards and a score. Let me actually see if I can pull that up. Yeah. And another thing I will say, keep an eye on, is James Cook, the younger brother of Dalvin. Dalvin Cook's younger brother looked really good in this game. I believe he had 6 catches, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he had 6 catches, so he is getting worked in a lot more. So for you that bought into Devin Singletary stock, it's not looking that great at the moment. And on top of it, Nyheim Hines is now getting worked in. That's not great for Devin Singletary owners going forward. So James Cook is a guy I would actually, if he's available in your league, go pick him up and keep him on the end of your bench. Moving on to the games we are looking forward to on Sunday, and we have a really good slate of football. Now, this guy's got to work on Sunday, so I am going to pull a double. I'm going to be pulling while I'm working, listening to the games, watching the games, so be doing a little bit of everything. Starting with the Packers and Bears, starting it off at 1 o'clock. Now, this is a game, it's a lot different than what most people think. This is a game that, yeah, Aaron Rodgers has owned Chicago going forward, but Justin Fields has been cleared to play. So Justin Fields is playing in this game, so I think, honestly, there is a good chance that they can beat these guys. I believe Aaron Rodgers, it looks like he will just play through it and he will play. But I mean, this is bad for us because Brisker out, Kyler Gordon's out. I mean, Eddie Jackson is out for the rest of the year. So most likely at this point, like, we're just trying. Honestly, I just want to see Fields put up another good game and show what he's capable of. And I think next year we have a bunch of money. We have a bunch of draft picks. We can load up on the offense. And in this game, honestly, like, I know Aaron Rodgers. Do you want to play a hurt Aaron Rodgers in this game? I would not. If you have better options, I would play Justin Fields over Aaron Rodgers. I would play, honestly, I would play Derek Carr over Aaron Rodgers because Derek Carr plays the Chargers, and the Chargers defense give a ton of points to the quarterback and wide receiver. And I know Aaron Rodgers, you can still play him, but just lower your expectations because, I mean, this is a team he's owned. So, and he says it. He openly says he owns us. But I am not looking to start him. Justin Fields, though, he's right back in your lineup. Feel free to play him. The guy who I want to play, though, is David Montgomery. The Green Bay Packers have been bleeding points to the run game, and David Montgomery is going to eat, baby. He's going to eat, along with Aaron Jones. He's going to be the two running backs that are going to have a big day for fantasy. And honestly, you're not playing any wide receivers for Chicago. And for the Green Bay side, really, you can take a shot on Allen Lazard. And I think at this point you have to play Christian Watson after what he's been doing every single week. So, even with Jordan Love. So, let me actually lower that. There we go. And yeah, in this game, like, I kind of want to give it to Chicago. If Aaron Rodgers does not play, Chicago will win. If not, and it's Aaron Rodgers, I have to respect that he owns us. But you know what? Screw the Packers. Let's go Chicago, baby. Chicago Bears, we're going to get back on the winning track. I mean, honestly, at this point, I want us to keep losing games. So, we might as well just run through the teams that I follow here and keep track of on my ESPN app. Sunday Night Football, by the way, this is Sunday Night Football. The 4-7-1 Indianapolis Colts versus the 8-3 Dallas Cowboys. This is going to be a terrible game. The over-under 44 points, which is generous, honestly. Dallas can get there all by themselves, I would believe, but I don't see Indy getting more than 10 to 13 points in this game, unless Jonathan Taylor goes off. And against Dallas's defense, I mean, Dallas struggles a little bit against the run. He will get some yards, but I don't think he's going to go off like he normally does. I mean, look at what Saquon did last week. He didn't do that great against Dallas. And this, I mean, I know Jonathan Taylor had a really good game last week against the Steelers, but against a defense like this, I don't think they're going to be down, and they're going to be down quick, and Jonathan Taylor isn't going to be able to run as much. So he may get more passes thrown his way, but I don't think he's going to run the ball a whole lot. Of course, you're playing Dak Prescott in this matchup. I definitely would. Who out of the running backs who we playing? I think, honestly, you play both Tony Pollard and Zeke if you have them. If you play both of them, I'm willing to start Tony Pollard in your running back and flex Zeke. Just Zeke has that opportunity. He can score. He is their goal line back. And then Tony Pollard is just so electric. He can do so many good things. And honestly, I think that he will, and him and Zeke will just score another touchdown this week. And of course, you're playing CeeDee, and Dalton Schultz against this Colts defense is going to be very, very good as well. And yeah, Dallas is going to win this game handily, I would say. Then moving on to the 1 o'clock games is the 4-7 Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers, against the 5-7 Atlanta Falcons. Now, in this game, honestly, this is a team in Atlanta who needs to stay alive for fantasy, or not fantasy, for the actual, like, real-life playoffs. They need to, like, stay alive for their division. And they are fighting... Who would have thought, like, this is a team that... I mean, this division sucks, but Atlanta having 5 wins is very shocking. So, and going up against a Steelers team that is just as bad, if not worse. So this is going to be... There could be a big point bonanza in this game, but I don't see it here. This is going to be a typical Pittsburgh Steelers-like game where it's very low scoring, not a lot of points being put up, I would say. Kenny Pickett, you're not... I mean, in a stream, you could stream Pickett against Atlanta, but Pickett hasn't exactly been a star, and neither has been Mariota. I mean, Mariota's been decent. I believe you could stream Mariota this week against the worst-ranked Steelers defense against the pass. So at least you could do that, but who's he going to throw the football to? Zacchaeus? I don't think so. I would not play Zacchaeus. The Cordell Patterson's the only guy that can really be played in Atlanta. You could flex Drake London, but there's so many better options than Drake London, to be honest. And then it has been reported, I do believe, let me take a look here, that Najee is practicing in a limited amount. Jaylen Warren is questionable, and Benny Snell, it looks like he is not going to play. He has been missing practice with the knee. So keep an eye on your practice reports. Keep an eye going up to game time, because if Najee is out, Jaylen Warren is a smash play. I really, really feel like he could dominate this week, especially if you have DFS. Jaylen Warren is like cheap, super cheap, and honestly, I'd play him in a matchup against a lot of better. I would play him in a million dollar matchup in like a DFS or a DraftKings lineup. I would throw him in, and the Atlanta Falcons defense, it's pretty almost just as bad as the Steelers. So I would play Freiermuth. The Muth is going to be amazing, as always. I mean, I know lately he hasn't been worked in a lot, but I think this is a week we do see him get a touchdown. He is the leader in their offense receiving. So Deontay, you can flex him. George Pickens as well. I think this is a good enough matchup. You can flex both. But if you have better matchups, or better players with better matchups, I'd play them over them. And then I think the Steelers eke out that victory against the Falcons. I mean, granted, it may not be pretty, but I think they eke it out. Next is the 4-7 Lions against the 4-7 Jacksonville Jaguars. This game is a game that I believe an over-under of 51. This is one of the games where I want pieces in. This is a game that I think that this is going to be very entertaining to watch for fantasy football. And two teams that pretty much everyone in this game is a start. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is my quarterback start of the week, along with Jared Goff. This is the first, both of them are quarterback starts of the week. Jamal Williams and Travis Etienne are both starts. DeAndre Swift. That's another thing. My running back starts of the week is both DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams. I think both of them are going to have really good days against Jacksonville. And then for the receiving core, Amon-Ra is going to be fantastic, and Christian Kirk is going to have a good day. I would even say Zay Jones, who has been very involved lately, especially last week. He was a very good stream starter. If you need a stream start this week, he's a guy I'm willing to start and plug in your lineup for a week and see what he does for you. And then the tight ends, you can play Evan Ingram as well. I think this is a week we could see him get back on track. And Don't play the Detroit Lions tight end unless you're desperate. But in this game, who are we picking as a winner? This is going to be a tough game. I think a lot of points are going to be put up. It's going to be very entertaining. I am going to choose the Detroit Lions to win this game by a close margin. I think it's going to come down to a late field goal. But moving on to, we have some really good football this week, guys. I'm just saying, this is some very entertaining football that we have this week with Mike White's New York Jets at 7-4 going up against the second best team in the NFC in the Minnesota Vikings. I believe this over-under is like 40-something. Yeah, 44.5. So in this game, honestly, Michael Carter is, I believe, is he questionable? No, he is doubtful. So with him pretty much guaranteed to be out, Bam Zonovan Knight is the guy that most likely, if he's there on your waiver wire, which I'm sure he should be, not a lot of people are going to know this guy's name. He came in and performed very well for the Jets, and with no Michael Carter, and honestly, Mike White dumps the ball off. I think Bam is going to have a really good day for the Jets running the football. And Mike White, I mean, you could, there's better matchups than Mike White this week against Minnesota Vikings. I think, like, last week it was against the Bears. This week it's against Minnesota Vikings. So, Minnesota's defense isn't that great, but they do change looks a lot for Minnesota. I do see that more than likely Mike White will come back down to earth a little bit. Kirk Cousins, of course, you're playing Kurt, you're playing Dalvin, you're playing Justin Jefferson, and TJ Hawkinson. The Hawk is really good. There's the one thing the Jets suffer with, it's against the tight end, and honestly, I think this is a week TJ Hawkinson has. He's my tight end start of the week. I really feel like the Hawk is going to have a really good game. And then my wide receiver start of the week is Garrett Wilson. I do believe that Garrett Wilson, since Mike White has started with him, he scored 2 touchdowns last week. I think this is a week we could see him do stuff again. And just the weapons that this is a quarterback, I think Mike White is the guy they need to start going forward, because I think he gives them the best chance to get into the playoffs and do some damage, not Zach Wilson. Sorry, Zach, but he's just not doing it. And then I'm going to pick the Jets to upset the Vikings. I think that this is the time that the Vikings really eked one out against the Patriots, and it's going to take a lot for them. Like, that's the thing. I know they're 9-2, but they're just, I know they upset the Bills and all that stuff, but, like, I still don't think they're that great. I really don't. But we're going to go with the Jets here. Alrighty, moving on to the Commanders at 7-5. Wow, who would have thought? All you had to do was not play Carson Wentz, and you actually do pretty good, Commanders, against the 7-4 New York Giants. This is a team in the Giants right now. I still don't feel like they're going to get another win before they're not going to get another win. I really feel like going forward, the Giants maybe have 1, maybe 2 wins left they could get. I don't see them beating this Washington team. The way they're playing right now, I believe that Antonio Gibson is looking like he's not going to play. So Brian Robinson looks like a guy you could definitely play in the running back position as like a running back too. I know I am in my Dynasty League. I have to. And Taylor Heineke is a guy against the Giants defense. I mean, Dak Prescott did have a very good game against them last week. I think you could play him here. And Daniel Jones, I would not play anyone on this Giants team except for Saquon Barkley, and that's because you have to. I really don't feel like this Giants team, other than Darius Slayton, really can put up big-time points for the Giants. here. And honestly, Washington with McLaurin and Curtis Samuel and Jahan Dotson, like, honestly, this is a game that I think Washington could beat them handily. And I think that it could happen. Brian Robinson is a smash play, I think. And then Terry McLaurin is a guy that, since Taylor Heineke started, Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, has been amazing for fantasy, and I think he's going to have another great game this week. I believe the over-under it's only 40.5. This is going to be a bad game for either side. I think, honestly, this is going to be a typical NFC East game. Very physical, very smash mouth, and back and forth, I do believe. But I'm going to give it to the Commanders. I did say that I think the Commanders will beat them handily. Moving on to the 7-4 Titans against the 10-1 Philadelphia Eagles. They escaped last week with the victory. Well, not last week. I think it was 2 weeks ago they escaped with the victory. But yeah, they escaped with the victory 2 weeks ago. And I think this is the week they finally lose one against Tennessee. I think Tennessee can keep up with Philly. I know that Derrick Henry is going to be very, like, Philly struggles against the run, and Derrick Henry is more than obliged to rip 2 or 3 touchdowns off on him. I'm sure that he can have a monster game this week against Philly. And in this game, like, not starting Tannehill, Jalen Hurts is a definite must-start, I'm sure, in this matchup. And with an over-under being 44, I think Jalen Hurts should give you good points regardless of who he's matched up against. Now, Miles Sanders, Tennessee's run defense is actually really good, and I know Miles Sanders has been decent as of late. He just scored 2 touchdowns the last week. I think this week he will come back down to earth against Tennessee's very good run defense. He's a guy I do not like this week. I do not think that he is going to be a start. If you have a better matchup, I think you should play him. And then, of course, A.J. Brown is a must-start as well. And I think Treylon Burks could be a guy that you could play as well in a flex. The Philadelphia Eagles will win this game, obviously. Moving on, Ravens, Broncos. Don't play, I'm going to do these quick. Don't play any Bronco. Just don't. And the Ravens, Lamar Jackson needs to be played. And honestly, like, Mark Andrews, and then that's it. Clock out. Ravens win this game. Browns and Texans. Browns and Texans. Deshaun Watson's back. And he gets to play his old team. And honestly, I think that Deshaun Watson is a guy that you can definitely play in this game. It's funny I'm saying that. Don't play Davis Mills, by the way. But I know Dameon Pierce has been bad lately. But you can definitely play him in this game. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt are both starts. The Houston game is too tantalizing. Don't play any Houston wide receiver. And Amari Cooper is the guy that I'd love to play, especially with no one to really match him. In Houston, I know Houston has been pretty good, but I think that there's going to be a new toy that Deshaun Watson has, and he's going to use it. And I think the Browns win this. I think just on the back of Deshaun Watson's going to get that, going to want to rub it in the face of Houston just a tad. So, then moving on to the 6-5 Seattle Seahawks against the 3-8 Rams. The Rams have fallen apart. Looks like Matthew Stafford, is he questionable for this game? He is not, so I think he will play. So with him possibly playing, I'm not playing anybody on the Rams side at all, even if Stafford plays. You got to play everybody on Seattle. Geno, Kenneth Walker, Tyler Lockett, and DK Metcalf. I think they're all must-starts, and their defense is a must-start. Can we talk about that for a second? Their defense is a must-start, so... and the Seahawks win this game. Next, we have the Dolphins and the Niners. That's an amazing game in itself. With the Dolphins and Niners, this is a game that Mike McDaniel comes back home to San Francisco, where he started his career coaching. And honestly, I think this is going to be one of the more entertaining games of the week. I know that San Francisco is a very good defense. The over-under is 46, so like they're giving some like points and honoring the Dolphins here. But Tua, I believe, against San Francisco's defense is not a smash start. Jimmy G definitely is. He's my quarterback stream of the week for sure. If he plays, I think he's questionable going in. San Francisco, Christian McCaffrey needs played every week, but he is dealing with an injury, and Jordan Mason, they did say is going to get more pull. I'm not looking to... Jeff Wilson is interesting against his old team, but honestly, out of the two, I wouldn't play Mostert. And you have to play Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle every week. And it looks like Debo is going to be out. With Debo out, Brandon Ayuk jumps up to wide receiver 1 status in a game where there's going to be a lot of points put up. I would feel on both sides. So Ayuk is going to be necessary. And I think Kittle is going to have a very good game for the tight end position as well. In this game, I think that the Dolphins can win this. I really feel, though, that I'm going to give it to the Dolphins. I'm feeling ballsy today. We're going to give it to the Dolphins, and then and then the Chiefs and Bengals are the game of the week, honestly. For me, I'm going to make this quick and simple. Start Mahomes, Kelsey, and Juju. And on the Bengals side, Joe Burrow. If Jamar Chase plays, you have to play him regardless. T. Higgins, you got to play him. And then Joe Mixon, and that's it. And the Chiefs are going to get their revenge against Cincinnati. And then the Chargers and Raiders, I mean, this is some good football weeks, guys. I'm telling you, this is a really good football week. And the Chargers and Raiders, man, the Chargers side is, I think, like, this is going to be an explosive game as well. I'm looking to play both quarterbacks in this matchup. Eckler and Jacobs are two running backs who need started every week regardless of matchup. I don't need to tell you that. And in the wide receivers, it depends on who plays. I think Mike Williams is out for this game. So Josh Palmer, he can be played, and I think Keenan Allen is going to have an amazing game against Vegas. And then, of course, Devontae Adams, of course. That's pretty much it. And I'm looking that the Chargers are going to defeat the Vegas Raiders. And then last but not least, Monday Night Football. We have Tampa Bay at 5-6. It's very shocking that they're 5-6. And by the way, I heard a fun fact. Do you know in their division they average the least amount of points in their division? Just wow. Even worse than the team they're playing in New Orleans this week, which is they're just a terrible team. And this is a team that, with Tom Brady and all the weapons they have, they should dominate, and they're just not. And in this game, it's going to be a typical Tampa Bay, New Orleans matchup. Low scoring, but I think they will be able to move the ball on each other. Brady, Dalton, I'm not looking to play either one. Rachaad White is interesting. I believe he is the starter at this point. I am looking to play him, and obviously got to play Kamara, even against Tampa. Tampa has struggled a little bit against the run. And then, of course, the wide receivers. Lower your expectations for Mike Evans, because it looks like Marshawn Lattimore's back. And every time Mike Evans plays Marshawn Lattimore, he struggles. So I think Godwin is a smash play. You put him in your lineup and you don't even think twice. And Olave is a guy you have to play. And we're not starting either tight end in this game, obviously. And in this game, I'm picking Tampa Bay to win this game easily. So, that is all the matchups. That is all the games. That is all the start sits. I'm going to go watch Black Adam. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please feel free. Go down below. Hit that like button. I greatly appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next video. Stay awesome, my fantasy football cave community.